Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 41-year-old from Seaforth, Ontario, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada, Italy, and he is a legend in the USA, Atlanta, Georgia, to be exact, folks. He returns to the shed for his hat trick appearance, and since his original shed trips, he has stuck number 17 in the rafters and played his 1000th professional hockey match. He ran a muck at Ferris State University because I witnessed it. And he then had his way for the last 18 years with the AHL and the coast with a quickie in Italy. He then set up shop in Atlanta, Georgia after Italy and captained the squad since 2015. Built a family, threw the jersey in the rafters, and promptly became the head coach. Oh, yeah, and he's a Kelly Cup champion. Welcome back to the shed, Derek Nesbitt.
Thanks, Wally. Jeez.
Hey.
Oh, really set me up there. Thanks.
Well, you've had a heck of a career, sir, and I get into how we know each other. I actually was thinking about this. It was last hockey season there when the little fellow was heading into Seaforth, Ontario, and I took a picture of the barn and I posted home a shed guy Derek Nesbitt, and then I walked into the arena and they got like a whole thing for you there.
That's right. Yeah, that's home, man. That's where Dad ran the rink forever, and I grew up there every day.
I like the barn. It's actually kind of similar to the Ripley barn here, the Wolf Den,
Okay.
call it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we talked about that your first time. That I don't know how long ago. I've been doing this for a while now, I guess, eh?
Yeah, this is three because I did one by myself, me and we,
Yeah,
and then now I'm doing this one.
that's right. And you just mentioned before we jumped on, you're watching a hockey game while you chat right now, eh?
I am.
The
I get
Idaho
the
Steelheads against the Florida Everblades, and that just brings
yeah,
back a lot of there's good memories that come back and bad ones because we beat the
same
Florida
here.
Everblades in game 7 with the Daytona Beach Bombers, and nobody saw that one coming, folks. And
No.
then we had to play you guys in the finals, and you guys were really good.
All right now, Idaho's on the ropes here. We're 3-3, but Idaho's down 3-0 in the series. It was all Florida in the first, all Idaho in the second. Now it's a scrappy third.
Well, there's a shed guy in that game. Matt Register would be playing for Idaho, right?
He is, yep,
So what are you watching that on? Is that
yep.
on like cable?
No flow hockey. So we got uh the team account as a password for this, so I get to use that. Oh boy, 4-3 Florida.
Really?
12 minutes left. Yikes!
So they could win the
Yikes!
Kelly Cup tonight. So you are
Good.
the bad timing for me, eh? That we're gonna talk while someone wins the Kelly Cup. That just shut your mouth.
We can get it live though.
So yeah, that's another way we know each other, folks, is I guess you won the championship at the Nutter Center in Daytona
Yeah.
Beach, Ohio.
Did we ever? The ice was gone before we left the rink.
Yeah, they were sick of us in that barn, eh?
Oh, they shut the minute they went. They shut the machine. I'm not kidding you. We didn't leave there. We didn't leave there until like 12:30. Half the ice was gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
I don't know what the relationships were like because the Daytona Beach Bombers didn't last too much longer after that.
No, one or two more years.
Yeah, once the underdogs made her to the finals, I we had guys that like we had no sticks. We had guys play with broken sticks. We couldn't get new ones because we hadn't paid bills. And we were borrowing sticks off other teams, and the equipment managers were making deals with the other equipment managers just to keep us afloat. And
Oh,
what a squad to go to the finals with. But then we ran into you guys, and man, you
yeah.
guys played like the similar style to us, where it was defense first and work hard and like muck it up. But you guys were like more talented and better at it, you know?
We had a good. You guys were good though, man. We just Silverthorne was really good in net. Berkey was really good in net too. But yeah, we just
That Berkey was an
yeah,
animal that year, man. He won East
yeah. He's
Coast goalie
awesome.
of the year. He was incredible.
He was my roommate on the road the year before that in Atlanta, my rookie year.
Yeah, the research team saw that. So you played with him and Lane Manson, the big fella,
Gnarly. Yeah,
and then he was in that movie, Goon, right? Goon 2. He was the bad guy.
he was a big Russian. Yeah,
Oh man, it's funny to see what all the guys do, right?
great. It's
He's
awesome.
a movie star.
He
And you're
should
a
be.
head coach in the East Coast Hockey League, aren't you?
Yeah. What do you know?
Isn't
What do you
that
know?
something? I think it's neat.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited,
You
anxious,
should you
nervous.
should be. So how did it all go down? How did you find out you're getting it? Did you have to interview? Because you've been around there long enough. I think they know you.
No, I didn't really. Um, it was kind of offered. I mean, I got asked a handful of times if that's something I want to do, and it's obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm doing the assisting and play that long, and it's I mean, you do it that long, it's what you know. So,
Yeah.
um, no, I always had a, uh, I know I always had a keen eye for just like what coaches were doing in practice. I was always really curious.
Uh-huh.
Why why this drill? What I always remembered a lot of drills in the past, and ones I liked, ones I didn't like. And I don't think a lot of guys just care. It's just like, all right, we're doing this where they go. I was always really curious as to how it's relatable
Yeah.
and whatnot. But it just
And why you're
always,
doing it.
yeah, just was always writing. I was always writing some stuff down too about it. So it always the coaching side seemed, I don't want to say natural because I don't want to downplay like how hard people work to be a coach, and like that's the other side. Like I don't want to not act like I'm very fortunate to get to be a first time pro head coach and not have to pack a bag and move.
Yeah. And
So
like you're in your home and
yeah,
like you just got your jersey in the rafters and now you become the head
yeah,
coach. That's like,
yeah,
man, you're really doing her down there in Atlanta, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. No, they're taking care of me, so I got to take care of them.
Well, and I think they know what they got. And like, for how long you played in like without whatever people call it, making it, like, like you love hockey and you love the game and you like competing and winning. And I think they, I think it's a fantastic hire that like you are kind of like there's guys that become like franchises and the identities of franchises and it's based off how they play their work ethic whatever, but like
Mhm.
obviously they've taken a shine to you down there and I know how you play hockey and you play hockey the right way and I'm sure you're going to coach it the right way and I think hockey nowadays needs a guy like you that's a good dude but also is a bit old school where it's like you got to muck it up to win stuff, you know?
I'm watching it right now, man. Yeah, you got to play team tough, heavy, and got to be able to put the puck in the net and keep it out. So it's
Yeah, there's like teams
seems
that are
pretty
good in
simple.
regular seasons, right? And like, you
Yeah,
know, you talk about the Leafs and stuff, like they got a great regular season squad.
yeah, it's different, man.
It
It
is
is.
different.
I
That
mean, to be
series of
honest,
Dayton against Idaho was different too, man, because like you guys played a heavy game and
yeah,
we did too. And like, I don't know, when you look at the careers of some of the guys that were in that series, man, like winning changes people's career. Going to finals changes people's career. They
yeah,
get people on the radar, and those guys that are first year pros or second year pros that get put out first round or don't make the playoffs, they ain't around very long.
right. It's tough. Yeah, the more is on you. You're on a winning team. I mean, people want to. I mean, I know that looking at that right now. I'm just you go on elite prospects or whatever, and you see the trophies next to a guy's name, or just see how many playoff games he's played. Um, it matters. So
It does
you're
matter.
always curious. Like you kind of look at the few things, and numbers are numbers, right? Like I mean, until you get on and look at them, but it's a little bit telling. But there's a few little things, underlying things in the numbers that are telling more than the obvious goals, assist points.
Well, I think winning changes people. I think you get more addicted
Mm,
to it. You get like you just
yeah,
once you know what it's like, it's really hard when you don't win. And
yeah.
yeah, you know about that. So how does this work then? You're the head coach. What's going on with recruiting? Is that on you or is there a GM or what's going down?
So the previous coach, Jeff Piler, was my rookie year coach too, and then I finished with him. He is moving to director of hockey ops, so he'll handle a lot of the paperwork stuff and a lot of stuff he was doing alone as well. So um, he's handling a lot of that, which is huge for me. He gets to help with all his connections with agents over the past and whatnot. So we combine on that, and then I'll hire an assistant coach as well at some point here.
So you're gonna have interviews for an assistant coach and all
Yep.
that. And but you
Yeah.
may probably have an idea who you want, but based on how many years you've been in the game and like
Yeah.
there's usually a connection with stuff with it's a guy you played with at some point in your life, or I mean, you played with a lot of guys. When the research team got hot, I didn't even know who all to write down, you know?
Yeah. No, I obviously want someone I can be around every day. I trust that I know. Um, that's obviously huge for me. It doesn't hurt having a guy that knows this league too.
Right.
Just to understand the day to day for the guys to talk to them, and then obviously for recruiting as well. So
Recruiting. So how does this work then for Atlanta? Like, are you guys affiliated? Are you going to get some contract babies? Or is it,
I,
what do
we're
you
with
do?
Nashville, so we
Is
just signed that agreement. Yeah, we're with Nashville,
That's one of your
Nashville,
poster
Milwaukee.
picks, right? You're holding up jerseys
Yeah,
and
that was just the other day. Yeah,
so you guys just locked her down with Nashville. So it's Nashville and then who is it still
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's cool then. So you're going to get some guys coming down that you get to train.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope. I mean, I don't know how many. You never really know, but it'll help. The recruiting starts to help a little bit once we know who those guys are. If that gets ironed out. So um, I know they don't always know. They have an idea, but until they're here, they're not here.
Well, yeah, and you're not gonna know, right? It's like when I went to the AHL camp. It's like I'm pretty sure they penciled me in the coast, but like you never know what happens in a
No,
tryout till people show up and try out, right?
right.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I'm an aspiring coach too, when
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be coaching under 13 next season. So what's your favorite drill?
What's my favorite drill?
Yeah.
Or what am I gonna do? You really put me on the spot here.
Am I?
I guess it
Well, I
depends.
mean, I guess you're just getting into this. Maybe you don't have like a favorite drill
No,
yet because
no,
you're
I do. I do for the kids. I've been doing a lot of youth coaching, right? So, but I mean, I want to do. I want to definitely get some more competition practice,
yeah,
but in a fun
competing.
way, right? Yeah, but it would make it fun. There'll probably be a few in zone. I like it. You know what I do like? I like a good the 4-on-2 times two. You know, you
On
put the
both
nets on the
sides.
goal line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have the 4-on-2 on the one half, and then the 4-on-2 on the other, and those two work with those four. And
Yeah.
I like that. That's always fun because
You
it's a
get to
power drill.
it is like a power play drill, but then you're
Yeah.
also competing and
Mhm.
yeah. So do you do it where it's one puck and like if
Yep.
there's only one puck in play, not multiple, right? Or not both sides
Yeah.
going at the
Yeah.
same time.
No, just one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to the two on D have to get it over to those four.
Yeah, I agree.
Release.
It helps you with finding space, moving your feet, getting open, but then also on
Yeah.
D, right? Stick position and all that. Yeah. No, I like
Yeah.
that drill
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I'll
There you
probably
go.
implement that next year too. My under 9 gals this year weren't quite ready for that one.
No,
You
that's
know,
okay.
we do like 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3s, whatnot.
Yeah.
We just muck it up,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get the
Just throw a
stick battles
puck in
going.
and let them at it.
Yeah. Get the stick battles going.
Um, so I guess other ways we know each other, right? Is when I saw you last in person,
Mhm.
you were cruising into Concard and took a picture of the sign and
Yeah.
sent it to me. And I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And you were watching your nephew play in the Silver Stick in town. And you
Yeah.
know what? I had a lunch hour that day, and I did head over to check out the nephew play, right?
Yeah. That was
And we
great.
we
Yeah.
got
That
we
was
got we got our shed guy selfie too, right?
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. That's it.
And I met your old man and your brother, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fun times though. Like that's what I like about this stuff though, is like, we'd always mucked it up against each other, but I didn't like know you. And then when
No.
you said you're in town and your nephew's playing, I'm like, well, I'm curious. I want to come
Hmm.
watch, you know?
Well, I was home for Christmas. I hadn't been home. I hadn't been back home for Christmas in like 12 years.
That's crazy, isn't it? To
So,
think of
yeah,
like when you're raising your boy Declan there, to think of him not coming home for 12 years at Christmas.
yeah,
Think about that.
miserable.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, it's
That's the this hockey life. It's like
well, now coaching, I mean, I don't know when the next time we'll be able to be home. So
you're gonna
that
be
was
busy.
so that was awesome to be home. Yeah. So to be able to do that this winter was really cool. We made sure, like, knowing it may have been a thing and whatever. So we knew that was a big time to be able to get home and spend that time there. So it was
Yeah.
tons of snow too. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
you're so used to being in Atlanta, aren't you?
No, it was, and you didn't see it up by you, but where it was in Seaforth, like even my parents were like, "This is a lot."
Really?
So for the week, yeah, yeah. So that was cool.
So what's interesting is I was just hanging out with a guy like a week or two ago there. Now I guess you'll are you the same division as the Swamp Rabbits?
Correct. Florida.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
um you two are both quite competitive fellas. I've mucked it up with
yeah,
both of you.
yeah,
I could see you two really competing.
yeah. We play them. I think we played them 13 times.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I yeah.
yeah. He's a workhorse though, eh?
Oh, he gives her, man. He's a
Yeah,
passionate fella about the whole
he
deal.
is. He
Yeah.
is. That's what I
Yeah.
hear. So I've spoke to him a handful of times. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? Like I was talking to him because I'm curious, right? Like I like get
Yeah,
to know shit.
yeah,
When I was with him, I was asking about his recruiting and like how he does it and whatnot. So like a big thing though, and it's like kind of probably what you did down there is the coast can pay for guys' mortgages, and you need to find guys that um they like are the identity of the franchise, that like they're the type of people you want there for long
yeah.
term. And it's okay.
What's
But like you know what I mean? Like if they can
yeah?
buy a house there and like set up shop, that would be probably ideal, right?
That was. I mean, we have a couple guys that actually do that here too. Now, I did that. It was. I mean, that's obviously beneficial in this league. Whenever if you can set up shop and start to get that for the 6 7 months, whatever it is, or if you go longer, every year you're just like, come on, play May first, get that month.
Yeah.
So you gotta get that
Is
second
that what
round
how it
on
works?
May
Is if you
first.
play into the month, they pay the month or what?
Basically, yeah. I mean, you can't split it, right? You can't. So it's, yeah, you'd get it if you get in that, you'd get it. So um,
I remember way
that
back
was
in Daytona Beach, Ohio, that Greg Lubinsky, our captain, was like the old guy in the team, and he was like 27, 28.
geez,
And but anyways, I like he was married, and it was interesting. But way back then, thinking there was a married guy in the team, and like,
I know.
and then all of a sudden we're just old, aren't we?
Yeah, and then I'm playing and I'm 40.
Man, you still did good though. I saw what you were doing. Your last year, you weren't just hanging on. You got over 50 points.
Just barely. Yeah,
But that's pretty wild, man. I can hardly walk.
that's how it is now.
So, what now that nobody's paying you to exercise, do you still exercise?
I try,
Do you?
but
What do
it's
you
it's
do?
tougher.
Are you like pumping iron and the whole deal?
Oh, a little bit. I'll lift a little bit. Try to
You're
get more
just
cardio.
good
Trying to
role
fit into
model
my
for the
suits.
team, eh?
Trying to fit into my suits. Don't want to rip them on the bench.
um So yeah, I got a question for you then. I don't know
Yeah,
what the coast is like now, but I see the NHL, they got like a whole bunch of coaches. And like at the end of the game, it's not even the head coach drawing up the plays. So how's this going to work in the coast? And like when you sign an assistant, what are you going to let him do? Or are you going to wait to see what his skill set is?
Uh, I guess it'll depend. He'll probably run at least send him out. But to be honest, I want a guy that we're gonna make decisions on together. Ultimately, it's got to come from me, but um, that we'll talk about everything together.
Yeah.
Um, depending on I guess who it is, maybe he runs the PK or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if it's a goalie guy, maybe it's a goalie. Then that's a box to check off too. So um,
Goalie coaching's totally different, man. It's like now,
yeah,
like when I'm coaching kids, I don't even know how to put their pads on.
no, no. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have ideas. I guess it depends who it is, and then we iron
Yeah.
that out. That's part of that process too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're gonna be a busy boy, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then you have started a family now down there. And we talk about your poster pics. You
Mm.
send them over, and I just giggled to myself because it's like, um, everybody you ask for poster pictures from, they send you totally different pictures, and
Yeah.
your pictures were of you and your son doing fun stuff and your wife and your son doing fun stuff, or the three of you
Yeah.
together, and I could
Yeah.
just tell what you're about, and it was like your son and your family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's probably the only pictures I have too anymore.
Yeah.
It's the only ones I take. But yeah, no, definitely. He's he's a he's a bit of a mini me. We're on the rollerblades every day. We get him out to the rink as much as I can. He's hitting the golf ball out in the backyard. We're playing baseball, putting in the living room, and it's awesome.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
It
Oh
is
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah,
Hmm.
the mini me thing. Except
Good.
mine I think is skinnier and faster than me. So but yeah, it's neat. And speaking of those poster pics, are you Red Sox fans? And if so, why?
That was no, I'm a Braves fan, but that was the Red Sox um that was his team in playing in T-ball.
Okay.
That was just a year he came up.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say, where does that link come
Yeah.
from? Yeah.
Not a Red Sox fan. That
You're a
was just his
Braves guy over the Blue Jays then?
yeah, you know what? I was always a Tigers fan growing up with my dad. And I remember always liking the Braves as my National League team.
Right.
Um with Glavine Smoltz,
But when we were
Maddox.
kids, that's who the Blue Jays played in the
I
World
know, but
Series.
I was a Tigers guy. So I didn't want them to win,
Really?
right? Yeah,
Jeepers.
I know. I was a Tigers guy.
Huh.
So, but no, I'm a full-fledged Braves guy.
Well, that makes sense. You've been there a long time, eh? Like
Yeah.
the research team was checking it out. Your first year in Atlanta was 2005.
Yes.
It's 2023 now.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida just won, by the way.
Really? They won it all. They
Yeah.
won the Kelly Cup.
Yeah.
At least they didn't win it at the Nutter Center. Then I might start
No.
crying, right? Oh shoot. It makes sense that Florida wins though. Like, look at their setup, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what yeah. I don't want to pump their tires too much right
No, you're right. But you know what's weird about a small world is I've talked about Florida and Everblades and the Lonnie Kai in the semifinals. We won a game 7. But the reason I ever went to the Lonnie Kai before that was I got a fella from Atlanta, John Bardis, and the coach,
now. That's right.
Scott Pearson.
Yeah.
They randomly emailed me in the summer and say, we've seen you play roller hockey or we've heard about it. And my son's on this team and we're putting together a squad. And then he invites me and Daryl Moore from Western Michigan, and they flew us to Florida and let us stay at the Lonnie Kai to play roller hockey. And they paid for the full deal.
I believe it. Johnny Wood. Johnny Wood.
It man, what a beauty. Like talk about a memory and to do it with Daryl, who became my college roommate for 4 years. Like that was
Yeah, no
living.
kidding, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of
Stayed
water
at the
bugs.
Lottie Kai. We fit right in with those Atlanta fellas, though. I can see why you like it down there. They were a bunch of beauties.
Oh, that's you. Yeah, you had a good crew there, especially back then.
Yeah. That was fun stuff though.
Yeah.
So I guess what is I guess you probably don't want to show too many of your cards, but like for me, if I was recruiting a team, there'd be some character checks to see if they're shed guys and to see if they're my type of dudes. Um,
Right.
but then like with the OHL, I've heard there's guys that are trying to find more small town guys than the GTHL kids. So what is your vision? What's your ideas of how are you gonna find these guys?
Um, you know
Just
what?
gonna
So
hit
far,
elite prospects as hard as you can, or are you
no. You
like
know what?
what is it gonna be? Zoom calls? You can get them in your shed and like talk to them?
No, it's right now. Like a lot of agents are throwing out lists of their guys, right? And they're throwing them to everybody. So you try to get a jump on them early. Um, and then and any ones I'm finding is either I'm just connecting with any college coaches I know in Canada or US. Um, and I'm trying to, if I could find regions where I can go, okay, and even, and it's not necessarily, I'll tell you what's hard right now is looking online and seeing who's an exiting senior because of the transfer portal now. It's really hard. And all the
Because it
fifth
used
year
to
guys.
just be 4 years and you're gone. Now there's a bunch of
Yeah.
kids playing 5 years, right?
And being able to transfer, so you don't, yeah, it's pretty wild. So, um, yeah, it's so mainly it was instead of calling when I realized after the first couple of guys, I said, hey, what about this guy? And it's, oh, no, he's transferred here. Oh, he's actually staying a fifth year. Geez. They said, but what we can do is you kind of bullshit with him a little bit. And they just said, hey, like, once the names start coming up, if you have any questions, just get back to them because we've seen all these kids play. So, uh, locking down some of those regions, some of those coaches, and then being able to get back with them and just even shoot him a text. Hey, what do you got on this kid? And you got to ask as a player and a person. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Well, and that, yeah, because I find that it's weird when I got to eventually like the UK league,
Mm.
um, people were like calling your teammates and asking about you. They weren't really calling the coaches, they were calling your teammates, and it just became between coaches and players was not as far of a stretch. Where in the East Coast, I think there's a bigger gap between coaches and players. So you're probably
Yeah.
relying on their former coaches and their agents more than like their teammates, right? You'd never call their teammate in the coast, would you?
If there's a guy, if there's an older guy that's played with a younger guy that I know and I know he's done, I'd ask him 100%.
Right.
I'd rather do that sometimes for sure.
See, I
Yep,
think just me personally, I think my teammates knew me better than my coaches.
for sure.
I
Yep.
think my teammates would say different things than coaches or like guys that never even played with me. Like there was a time like I had left Bietigheim and then I heard I had a terrible review from a guy and I find out who it was. I never even played with the guy. He wasn't even my teammate. He played there after me and then he's saying this stuff. I'm like, I don't even know you. I've never even met you.
Unreal.
you know?
Yeah. Right. So what's that say about him?
Right. And that's actually, I ended up signing with the team. The guy said, I actually know that guy's a loser. So, hockey world, it works out, folks, right?
There you go. Yeah. Great.
There's another coast guy that I had confirmed in the shed and then got sidetracked last summer. Joel Martin is coaching Kalamazoo, the goalie.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was my
I,
roommate in Syracuse way back in the
oh,
day.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I played against them, don't really know each other. Obviously know who each other is, but I've never met him personally, to
Really,
be
eh?
honest with
He's and
you. Yeah.
it's interesting how guys find their like their spot, their place. It's like
Yep.
I found mine way too late in my career. I found it right before my knee went in Cardiff. Like they liked me for me and they let, and like that guy is a legend in Kalamazoo. And
Yeah.
now you've
Yeah.
done your thing in Atlanta.
Yeah. No, he's carved it out. It's good for him. It's awesome.
Um, Anywho, since last time we talked, I'm pretty sure the whole spit and chicklets thing went on. I don't like to pump other pods' tires, but they really did her up for you. So I got no problem doing that when they're treating you like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they did.
That was
Um,
crazy, eh? How'd that come about? Like, how did you find out? How did like the idea come about? Did they reach out to you saying, "Hey, we're gonna run a muck for you here"?
Man, it was during the COVID year, when half of our teams didn't play. Um, Biz said something on the pod about, hey, maybe we should do some kind of relief fund for these guys. He goes, I was talking with Buddy, and he goes, these guys just stop getting paid. It's not like the NHL, AHL, where you have a contract and you're getting fulfilled. Like, these contracts in this league are here today, gone today.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, sure.
um, so I reached out to us. Hey, that was an idea. Like, if there's anything I can do, let me know. And he said, yeah, call me. So we get on the phone right away and just chat about it. So I I don't know who I got in touch with, but I was part of
Are
the
you
player
playing with
rep.
something with your hands?
Sorry,
Are you
stop
playing with
that.
your
Yeah,
tallywhacker? Stop it.
no, there was
Put it away.
my
Put yeah.
the bottle cap. Um, so he I kind of helped him just a little bit get in touch with a couple people with the PA and got the union kind of on board to have him start spearheading the whole like relief fund where it paid us out almost about 75% of what we would have been owed that we lost that year.
All the
So
guys that would
um,
have been on East Coast contracts.
that when the season ended early, when the
That's
season ended
awesome.
early,
Good for
yeah,
him.
so you're thinking 75%. I mean, that's pretty much what you're getting after taxes anyway. So you basically got fulfilled. But then during the COVID year, he asked, "You're just still playing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I said it's." I said, "I want to keep going." He said something about how many games a year. I said, "Well," I said, I'm stuck at 975. I can't really." I said, "I got to play 25 more. I gotta stay in shape and go back and play 20. I can't go out like that." So he's like, "Really?" He's like, "You're gonna hit 1,000." I said, "Yeah, but they're all minor league games." He goes, "Oh," he goes, "That's even better." He goes, "You know what? I think," he goes, "Let's connect again when the schedule comes out." He goes, "I think I have an idea for something we can do because I've been wanting to do something with that league." And he goes, "It just kind of dawned on me we could," and then it turned into 3 episodes, and that one episode, luckily, was more based on me, not it was I got pretty fortunate there, but they crushed it. Him and they always mention like that Sean Abuzo, the camera guy who was at the thousandth, and then he came. He was the one that was at the thousandth to get all the footage there, and then they came to do the celebration here. So it was really cool. I mean, him and
Well, seeing
Biz and
it
Granelli were
from
both
where
really
I
cool.
am, seeing it from in the shed and like
Yeah.
seeing the memories that they help you make. And it's like you could have played that thousandth game and Atlanta would have done something for you, but like everything would have just
Mhm.
carried on. And like then I saw like whenever that happened, like the cameras are coming into your house. They got Declan on there. They got you guys
Yeah.
playing mini hockey. And it was like a
Yeah.
little mini documentary type thing. And I'm like, what a memory you got now for life. And man, you deserve it.
No, that's man. I lucked out there.
I
Um,
lasted 1 year in the coast and I was like, my body's gonna break.
oh man. No, no, I don't know. I thanked them over and over. I just said they were. It's funny when the game went on, like the game that they came for. I had an assist in the game on the power play, and then I scored an empty netter to seal it with like 3 seconds, 2 seconds left. It went in, and it was like, and Biz was on the broadcast for it. He went up in the third period, late third period, so he was like calling it too. It like it was all like like I remember seeing him in the locker room after. He's like, thank you. He goes like, can you imagine? Like, we never know if this is going to be a 7-0 blowout. You guys get smoked. He's like, for it to be a game like this, he's like, it makes our job so much easier. And it's so true. Like, like
It
the other
is
games they
true.
did, I think the one they did in Orlando was an overtime game. Like, are you kidding? That's perfect. Like, they need that, right? They want it. The last thing they want is to be an 8-0 shit kicking, which happens in every league. But
It-
for them to want to film this and hope that it all goes well, like they get so lucky. Like they were pumped. I was pumped. It was
Uh,
cool.
that's so cool, dude. And like, it actually, not to bring up my own shit, but like, it brings back a memory is that the night they had Wally night in Cardiff, Wales, and they fly me over.
Yeah.
And like, this is before I start a pod and before I ever have the nuts to do it. And I'm like, so confused why they'd be having me over. And then you go over, you do your thing, and you hang out and you do a pregame speech. And then, like, I was spray painted as Joey Martin, the goat. And like people had told me he hadn't been scoring as much at the start of that year. The team wasn't as good. Everybody's stressed out. And then the game I go over there for, they win 3-0. It's the middle of the third. They get a 5-on-3 and it's 0-0. Joey Martin scores the goal, and I'm spray painted as him, and I rip my shirt off and spray painted as him. And now all of a sudden, people listen to me talking in my shed, and it's like
Oh yeah.
how all that worked out just doesn't make any
Oh,
sense,
it's perfect. Perfect.
right?
It's
Uh,
hilarious, but
it
it's so
is,
it's
but
so good.
for Biz to not forget like about the coast and everything, like
Yeah.
the year we went to the finals against each other, I remember mucking it up against him, and like I thought he was the best defenseman in the East Coast, and
Yeah.
he also was the most entertaining player in the league too.
Hmm. Yeah. No, he was in the wheel too, but I had met him. That's where I met him that year was the All-Star game in Boise. So that's where I actually met him that year.
The All-Star game was in Boise. What a city that is, eh?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It really
Fantastic.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I got a hotel and I lived there. I was a hometown team. I didn't leave my hotel for 2 days. I didn't go to my apartment for the All-Star game. Yeah. It was great.
You only played in Boise that one year you guys won it. Why'd you go back to Gwinnett?
Uh,
Because you were an all-star.
I
You
don't
had
know.
like 80 points. You win the championship, and then you went back. Hey,
You going up
Bubba.
or staying here? Okay. Yeah, you can. Wally,
Wally, hey.
two whales and hockey tail.
Yeah.
He was the guy that.
Oh,
Here, you want to get
Hi.
on it?
no.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Oh,
I
it's this is great. I
I
love it when
I
the
I
families
got.
get involved.
What do you say?
She loves it when the families get
Am
Yeah.
I involved?
involved.
You sure are. You're right in the
Cheers.
shed. Cheers. What do you got there? A Cabernet?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it
Um,
Pinot?
Yeah.
you guys got the kids to bed, right? So what's
He's
weird
in
when they
there.
get older, man, is my kids were still out when we were doing this. And I always tried to plan them like when the kids go to bed, it's like, okay, it's shed time. And we planned for 9:30, and my kids are still out at their buddies when we were coming here. That doesn't make sense anymore.
No, right. No, it's summertime though. Oh no,
I
you guys
guess
are still in school.
we are still in school. Yeah.
Right, right.
Hmm. By the way, I
Not
like your
summer yet.
shirt. Is that team issued from way back in like
Still have one.
2003?
Still have one.
I love it. Yeah. We did used to muck it up there. Ferris
Hmm.
against Western Michigan, didn't we?
Sure did.
Yeah. Hmm.
Love that bar.
Okay.
Love that bar.
Poster picks. I
Mhm.
brought them up before, but I got written down Declan and I got like 5 arrows. It's Red Sox question mark. And then my favorite pick was him looking through the glass at you when it looks like you're ready to coach or whatever.
Yeah,
And just the
yeah.
way he's looking at you, it's like that is just the coolest picture I've seen in some time.
That's my favorite picture of all time.
Yeah, it should be.
Got me on the bench.
Yeah.
That's up
Awesome.
there from him. I mean, it's up there. That's up there. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
give it 5 years. You won't be looking at you the same way.
No, I won't be. Nope, not at all.
No, then he'll be telling you what's up, you know?
No kidding. Oh, he already does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's cool when they're that age and they look at you like that, though. Hey, good
Oh, yeah.
picture.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't last. So
And then the
Sure.
next one, like there's a lot of them at Declan, but the Disneyland, you took them there. And then baseball.
first
So
birthday.
you're into baseball too? Like, so my son just signed up for baseball for like the first time this year. Had his pitching debut last night. Ran
Okay.
amok, fantastic. But so you guys are into baseball. I guess you're in Atlanta. That's like a thing there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually a really good little baseball league he plays in where it's like you have a bunch of practices and what they do is everyone gets a hit. It's like 2 innings. And it's actually plays the same fields where my wife grew up playing. She played softball competitive.
Really?
So, yeah. So
And football's big there too, eh? So any dabbling in that area?
we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know about football yet.
Dangerous sport.
Yeah, football.
Yes.
My wife's a big football fan. So
Well, yeah,
We'll see.
she's
We'll
from
see. I don't-
Atlanta.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. If he's interested, I'm not going to tell him no.
Yeah. No,
If
it's
he has some different interest, I'm not going to say no. The only thing I'm going to make him play is golf.
golf's fun.
Yeah,
I haven't
drive me
even
out
swung
the-
a club this year, man. We're
I
into
know.
June now and I haven't swung a club. Not once.
Kids, man,
Kids.
busy. Kids in the
Well,
pod.
they should golf with me, right? But then if I ever get a minute, you're right, I run to the shed. So stop. Okay. Next poster pick. Okay. You got a
Yep.
bed in front of your stall in the arena. And to me, the bed screams bus bed. That's your bus bed, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Hockey
Yeah, the
guys
body
know what I
pillow.
mean by a bus bed. You got the mattress that can fold into like a square, but then you
So
roll
mine's-
it out.
It's like 5 or 6 pillows. It's 5 or 6 pillows is what it is stacked up.
Oh,
That's what that is. It's a big body pillow. Yeah. So what happened there was, it was that was my third last. That was where I laid down before my third last pro game. It was game 2 in the playoffs, and we got the old early checkout boot in Jacksonville because we were leaving after the game, so we weren't staying. So they gave us the 12 o'clock checkout because there was a conference coming in. So not the usual 4 o'clock one.
so you couldn't have your pregame nap at the hotel. They kicked you out and you need a nap. Doesn't matter how old you are. You're a hockey player. Gosh darn it. You need a nap.
I'm not a big napper, but I just lay there. I want to lay down. I want to lay down somewhere. I didn't want to sit somewhere. I didn't want to go walking somewhere. It's end of April in Jacksonville, Florida. It's hot out. So I wanted to chill out somewhere. So all the guys, I knew that if I didn't make some kind of light of the situation, then it can go south pretty quick with some of the guys when stuff like that goes on in this league, and it's bound to happen in this league. So I was all excited about it, right? I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I got my body pillow. I'm gonna lay right here. I don't even go anywhere. This is great. And it's obviously not great, but you do what you do. But
Life is what
no.
you make it though. And the East Coast
It
is a lot of it, like there's guys that couldn't handle it in the coast, what you deal with. My body just couldn't handle, like the year we went to the finals, I played like over 100 games. And
Yeah.
the games we were playing were very hard. But like there's things that happen. Buses break down and like you sleep on the floor, you sleep above on the buses. Like there's different things you do to be a hockey player, and some people can deal with it and some people can't, but you've been doing it for a while, eh?
Yeah, you find a way. Just find a way. Yeah.
You only went to Europe for 1 year, eh? And you
Yep.
just had the wrong experience, and then you set up shop in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, to be honest.
Yep.
And
It
in
was,
Europe, there's the good experiences and there's the opposite. And if people have questions, I know quite a bit about it. So if you want to reach out, let me
Yeah.
know and I'll tell
No,
you what places are like, because they don't really change. The places
No.
that sucked back in the day still suck.
Right. It's usually the owners are the same or whatever. Yeah, it's the same stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
basing your money or whatever.
And the
Yeah,
places that are good are good. You know?
Yeah. exactly.
And you
For
guys
sure.
have a good setup there in Atlanta, don't you?
It's good. Yeah, we just been a lot of changes the last few years. Few ownership changes.
And you've
It's right
lasted through
now
all that stuff, eh?
a lot, man. Yeah, I've had since I've been back here. I've had I've played for every president we've had in this organization,
But I think
and
that's
every
neat because when teams would get new
and
coaches, they
ownership
wouldn't
too.
want me back, right? Like they would,
Yeah,
the new coach would come in and be like, well, we don't want that guy. And I wasn't for everybody. I was for certain people, but everybody
yeah.
that's been in Atlanta brings you
No,
back. That's
I've
great.
president. I've played for every owner, so or worked for every owner, I should say now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
been a part of it all. Yeah.
Well,
So
and now you're the head gosh darn coach, eh? So what goes on in the coast these days? Is it 4 lines?
you can dress 11 forwards now. So you can dress 19 players where it used to be when you were playing it was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
You can
have,
dress.
so now it's the 3 centers and 4 sets of wingers.
Yeah, or those last two. I don't know. That's another thing that's gonna come into this. I wanna if I got a good 11, I want to be able to play those 10 and 11 guys, especially in the 3-and-3s and the tough roadies. You know what I mean? Like they gotta take ice time. So whether I do, I play my top three guys as like the second group, and then they go out with that. You know what I mean? Like just those guys up with them, or however it is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Thought of it though, obviously.
Well, yeah. No, once it gets in your brain, you start thinking about it, right? And I know how competitive you are. You're gonna be ready to rock. It's like when I got to help coach the kids next year, it's like sometimes I just drive around and I think, so like how these kids are this old, I've seen them play. It's like what drills and practice are gonna work that like these kids are gonna,
I know.
that it's not too
Develop.
much, that it's not too little, but that like it's actually going to help us win games. And then I'm trying to figure out like what they can do, what they can't do, what level we're at now, because so far I've done an under 11 team, an under 9 girls house league team, and now we're getting into under 13 rep. And it's like trying to figure out what level I'm at of each thing.
I know. It's tough, man. You and you as much as you catch yourself sometimes going, oh, like do do I go, oh, this would be a great show. The parents will think this is great. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Because the kids need to enjoy it and they need to be getting their touches and getting better. And if they're not battling and it's not fun for them, they getting better, no matter what the parents think of how cool the drill is or whatever. It is what it is. But
Kids need to battle. They need to compete, and there needs to
yes,
be winners and losers, I think.
100%. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, next poster pick, I guess, was you and Declan with the Seaforth Arena there, though. We talked about that though. Like, so they just won Senior A like a year ago, didn't they?
It did. Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
The local one. Yeah. The WA or
Yeah, like the one
yeah.
Ripley's in. Yeah, Ripley just lost in
Yeah.
the finals. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 2
I
years
mucked
ago.
it up in Seaforth, back in the day when I was playing for the Ripley Wolves. We played a series against Seaforth, mucked her right up there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went upstairs for a pint after.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Before the drive home.
Yeah. Okay. Since you've been in Atlanta, I just got a few names written down. Research team didn't want to get too hot. Okay.
Let's
So I
go.
talked about Pearson and Bardis, but just drove through Hensel, Ontario. Jeff
Yeah.
Campbell was there that first year, eh?
Yep. My roommate.
He was your roommate your first year.
Yep.
Well, we went to Western Michigan
Used to be,
University together, and I just love that Shed guy, you know?
yeah, you know what? He just reached out to me in Pilar tonight about some player from over there looking to try to come back over to or come over to ECHL. So
Isn't it a
we just got
small world?
connected with him. Yeah, yeah. And it's a text about this long from Soupy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
That's great.
He'd be trying to
Yeah.
sell his buddy, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was a
Four
big
other
reason
guys
why I
up.
went to Western Michigan was seeing a little skill guy from nowhere in Ontario go to Western
Yep.
Michigan and do well. And he went there and won Rookie of the Year for the CCHA. And then when I'm
Yep.
going there for my recruiting trip, he's doing all that stuff. And I'm like, that guy's like me.
Yeah. No, Coop was good, man. We played against each other since we were about 6 years old. He went to Strathroy, I was in Sarnia. He went to Western, I was at Ferris, and then he
And
came
now
to
your
he was
jersey's retired in Atlanta and
yeah,
his jersey's retired in Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah.
And
What he's
like
been
when
on.
I drive through these little towns, I was saying this to someone when I went over to Cardiff. I'm like,
Mhm.
when I talk to Shed guys, there's certain pockets, there's certain areas in the world they're from, and where you're born and raised matters. It makes you who you are. And
Yeah.
I think it's crazy though that you guys are from Hetzel and Seaforth because we play those teams now. And like for me starting this
Yeah.
and like nobody knows about the kids around this area, it's like I
Yeah.
love when I go watch a game and I see a kid and I'm like, I'm going to tell people about this kid because back in the day, nobody knew about us, right?
Nope. No clue. No
No.
clue.
And not until you got to Ferris State and I got to Western Michigan, right? Like, really?
Yeah, you're from where? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You played where? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sugar Kings? Oh yeah, I know them. You do? Yeah.
By the way,
Oh yeah.
Southern Cup champions.
I know. You got me there.
Um,
Sarnia won the year after I left.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you won the year before. That's right.
Yeah, I lost in game 7 to Sarnia.
Right. Right. Well, they didn't have me. They got
Yeah,
rid
in
of the
that
problem.
old barn. That
Yeah.
is a sweet barn. But I hit the crossbar and then they scored on the M10. Okay, whatever. Don't want to talk about it. After Soupy though, he was a hell of a player, and like I just think it's so neat that like guys from small towns, and I think growing up in a small town, I'm gonna move on after this, but like
Mhm.
it holds you accountable at all times in your life. It's like you can't go screw around downtown and be an idiot, and people are gonna go tell your parents they're gonna see them at work the next day.
Yeah.
Growing up in a small town is different, and I find it interesting how many Shed guys are from small towns. But then I
Yeah.
find it interesting how many of my buddies' jerseys have been retired.
Yeah.
You know, serious,
great.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It is wild.
It is wild. And that's
Oh,
how
yeah.
old we are, though. That like my friends' jerseys are retired, and yours is retired, so that would have been a special
It
night,
is.
eh?
It was awesome. They did a great job. Really appreciate it.
So you have that night, but like now you go to that arena and like it's still there, right? It's always there.
It's up there,
Yeah, it's up there.
hanging over.
How big of
Yeah.
arena are we talking here?
It's about 12,000. It's good.
12,000 folks can sit there and your
Yeah.
jersey's up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well
It's a
done.
nice drink.
Yeah, that's cool. And then Loop's jersey's retired too, right? In Switzerland. And like to think
Awesome.
that's over there in Switzerland somewhere. And then you guys are just from these small towns in Ontario, and then we're all just mucking it up in the CCHA.
Oh yeah,
Next guy, did you ever play with Joey Haddad?
I didn't.
Really? Sugar
Nope.
and Spice, you'd love him.
Yeah,
Everybody
I know.
loves him.
I think I had met him and had spoke to him about even trying to get him to come back here. I think at one point. But yeah, a lot of never heard a bad
He's
word
the
about him.
type of guy that teams want to keep and they want to bring him back when he leaves. He's just a fantastic dude, and I knew he had played in Gwinnett. So
Yep, heard a lot of good things about him.
how about the guy that is running amok of the UK league the last few years, Scott Conway? Did you see that coming?
Did play with Cons as a rookie.
Well, he has really been doing her in the UK, and I was just curious if you saw that coming.
Yeah, he can score. I know he's really good in that league. Obviously, having the passport too. He had talked about that. I'm good buddies with Kiefer too, so we talk a lot, pretty often. So I mean, he was all over me when he was first recruiting, because he had the passport. So it's a big get for that, as you know. So yeah, he could score. He scored here. Um, he's skating's not his strongest suit, which is
I've actually
probably
never
what
seen
maybe
the guy
keeps him
play.
there.
I just
But
saw the numbers.
yeah, finds a way. Finds a way.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you yeah, interesting. You and Kiefer buddies. You muck it up against Lordo now. It's like all the most competitive dudes I ever played against are all still in the game and still competing.
There you go. I guess
Isn't that something?
no secret. Yeah.
That's the part I missed the most in my life is competing. I
Yeah.
like
I
beating
know.
people at shit.
Yeah. I know. No, that's it's nice about this side of it now. Like the coach, like that's really scratching the itch for sure.
Well, it does for me now with the kids too, is when you go and beat your hometown, it feels great driving out of town, right?
Exactly.
So other guys I got written down. Matt Ginn. Did you play with Matt Ginn?
Love Ginner. Yep.
Yeah,
3
me
years.
too.
Parts of
He's
3
a
years with
shed
him.
guy.
Yeah.
So do you know what I
Yeah,
did
he is.
with? Do you even know what's gone on in Manchester, England last year?
No.
We got chocolate thrown on the ice every time they win. He became the coach, and I started having his players on because I liked him. And
Okay.
after every win, they would throw chocolate on the ice for winning, and that was
That's
from the
fantastic.
shed here in Kincard.
That's good.
It was good.
We need
It
to
was.
start that here.
Are you guys allowed to throw chocolate on the ice? Because I did it in Manchester, and it was sure fucking fun. Seriously. So I had their captain on, Cameron Critchlow, shed guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, so I've got stuff started in Cardiff before, never done anything in Manchester or any other place that, like, do you think we get her going? They beat
Yeah.
Sheffield the next day. And next thing you know, chocolates hitting the ice against, like, in their barn. And then every game it got bigger and bigger. I had their bus driver on, I had their match night announcer on, I had fans on. I'm telling you, Matt Ginn, here we go. Go Storm, right?
Yeah. I love Ginner. He's a good dude, man.
Isn't it? It's nice when the good dudes in hockey end up staying in hockey and getting coaching gigs.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite all time. For sure.
He is a dandy. So you played with Burkle and Lane Manson. We had that, but
yeah.
How about Adam Smith from this part of the world?
Yeah, he was on my rookie year team because he was still under contract with the Thrashers that year.
Yeah, so he like mucking it up too, eh?
He's tough.
Yeah. How about Ryan Marley from Western Michigan University? We called him Jibs.
I did play with him briefly till Christmas that year. I went to Rockford in 7. He was good, man. Quiet, but he was a good player. He's a good player.
He was a really good player, and he was like the first guy I played with that had the teeth that pop in and out, and like you could put in drinks, right?
Yeah.
Cool when you see that stuff. Right?
He was a sneaky, funny dude.
Oh yeah, hilarious guy.
Yeah.
So I'm almost done. I know you're tired. You're a coach
That's
now.
okay.
You're too busy for me.
I know.
18 years. How many multi-year deals did you have?
Bro.
What'd you say? Zero. All
1-year
deals in 18 years?
Yeah.
I went all
17
1-year
years.
deals too, and I thought I was stressed out. So you did all 1-year deals too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That builds character, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I kind of knew when I came back here how it was going to go. I wasn't too worried each year, but I knew I had to perform as I got older. But yeah,
Well, and
all
that's the
1 year
thing though.
deals.
Like you can think that's how it's gonna go, but if you don't go out there and do her, it's over.
Yeah, and you got a shelf life. Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe how long you lasted, man. Seriously. Actually, it's wild. They
Yeah.
don't make them like you anymore, you know?
I don't know, man. There's some guys. I guess NHL it's different. I guess it is different. Um, it's tough to last forever in this league, but I
So
loved it.
what I actually, this is not on the notes. This is just random question. So you
Hmm.
did her for a long time. There was a lot of sleeping on buses. There was a lot of sleeping in awkward positions. What hurts the most? Like, did you not have any big injuries?
Only surgery I ever had was on my nose.
Really? Those don't hurt.
Yeah, it was over here, so it was bad. I tore my MCL on my left knee twice, but no surgery required, just second degree both times. Just rehab, no brace, just knocked it out without it. And I think it's stronger than my right one now. They've always said, but yeah, pretty fortunate, man.
No kidding.
Nothing.
No,
Yeah.
what about teeth? Did you wear a mouth guard?
No,
I never wore a mouth
just
guard
missing
either.
one. Got a
I
few,
thought, you know what
got
I
some
think?
fakes and stuff.
I think that something at some point, someone like did something to say everybody's got to wear a mouth guard because,
Mhm.
like when I got to the coast, the coach said to me, he's like, do you think if you get a puck in the mouth, a mouth guard's going to change anything? And I was like, well, I don't want to wear it. I can't breathe. I can't talk.
Right.
And he was
No.
like, well, then don't wear it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, I
Couldn't get
never.
into those things. And like, I don't think they actually do what everybody says they do.
I don't. They talk about it as a concussion thing. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I
Concussion
get
and
that.
insurance, though. I think a lot of it's
Yeah.
insurance, and this insurance stuff, man,
Yeah.
seems more like a scam to me. Everybody can pay a lot of insurance, you know.
Of course.
We're going out there and mucking it up. Things are gonna happen, right?
Right.
Um.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm almost done. So 18 years,
Mhm.
1 year deals, but 2010 to 13, you had in the AHL, folks, not the East Coast, the AHL, 42 points, 55 points, and then 47 points. Those numbers now get you called up to the NHL, no doubt about it. But you're an older fella that's a free agent out of college. And isn't it interesting how, like, the guys that get drafted and are brought up, like, I don't know, those numbers scream you should have got an NHL game or so.
Yeah. This is my poor me story, right? It'll be that I was a victim of 2 lockouts,
Oh,
right?
the lockout's at the end of that 47 pointer then.
Start of it.
Oh,
So after the 55, because it was in 2012. So remember that
yeah,
the
you're
12,
right. That's when I'm in Helbron, and then you went to
Yeah.
Europe the next year.
2 years later.
Mm.
So in after the 2011-12 season, the 2012-13 season, the NHL only played like 48 games. They didn't start.
That's the year you got
January.
55 points is when all the top players are in the AHL.
No, it was the year before that. But going into that lockout, that's what I had. And then so I couldn't go to a camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I resigned. So there was no signing with St. Louis because they couldn't sign, and then you couldn't go to a camp because there was no camp. So that would have been great to be my third year there and be able to go to a camp again. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, those 3 years I got written down was all with Peoria Rivermen, which means you're right in the organization. You're right a part of it, and you're doing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, but starting that year, I mean, we, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think we had, who was it? Well, Schwartzy, Jordan, Jaden Schwartz played with us at the start of that year. That was his rookie year. He's
I
very
remember watching him in the World
involved.
Juniors. Yeah. I always remember the World Juniors. I always watch like a game or two just to see if a kid sticks out to me. And I remember
Yeah.
that kid because he was also a college player too, right?
Yeah, workhorse too. Just smart, hard player, could score. Yeah, great guy, unreal dude. Um, Hell of a player still in Seattle. So he was a kid that we had because of that. Um, what's funny is we were supposed to get Tarasenko.
Really?
He was in St. Louis for the summer. That was going to be his first year. As soon as they announced it was going to be a lockout, he hopped back on a plane to Russia because he was lingering around, I guess. And this is hearsay, right? This is what they said. He was slated to be there with us, and he hopped on a bird and said, "I'm going home."
Yeah. And then probably made $1 million that
Made more
year.
money.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then it's totally different. Like yeah.
And then the other lockout was my senior year.
Right. That
So
was
coming out,
yeah.
coming out as a rookie was tough the next year. As a
Yeah.
rookie free agent was tough next year.
Well, yeah, because you went to I remember how great of a college career you had, and you were going to like the Shreveport Mug Buds or something. And
I
like
did.
for
Yeah.
a guy like me, that's
Central League.
like somewhat looking up to you, but mucking it up with you and Legui, and then seeing the careers you guys had, and then I see what you guys are getting as pro hockey players. It was pretty deflating for a guy like me that was 5'8", you know?
But so the thing was, and this again, like I told you, this is my poor me stories. Was um the think of the pre-lockout, right? The Before that lockout in 0405, we lost the NHL season. The For a rookie to sign a max deal was
Oh,
2 years, 1.1 signing, 1.1 over 1.1 a year over 2 years.
and think about how much money that was back then compared to
Crazy.
nowadays.
And it was like 90 in the minors or something. But that got changed immediately
It got
to
changed hard.
3 year deals signing bonus of like 265 and 70 70 in the minors, something like that, for 3 years. But 3 years. So now you can sign all your draft picks for 2 years now for the same price as like two guys.
Oh yeah.
Like
It
was crazy.
crazy how much it changed, man. Those guys that signed deals before that lockout, like I know guys that were getting signing bonuses of over $500,000 and they were unrestricted free agents in college.
Yep.
And then guys like us that were on the other side of that lockout were getting, there wasn't much happening.
No. But
No.
the problem was too is like it's coming out of that. They had to sign two draft classes because they had the whole year off. So now you have two draft classes that are at some point that are looking to sign. And now you can sign all these guys for wicked cheap for 3 years. Now it's like, okay, now we can really develop our farm system, which is good, right? In long run, like great. Just like
Well, it
sweet
changed
timing.
things. I remember when I went to Dayton, like we literally had at least 5 to 7 NHL deals on our team. And they were all the kids that were first year of like the 3-year deals or whatever else it might have been. But there was a lot of NHL kids.
But there was even 3 ways.
Yeah, there was 3 ways. Yeah, there was.
Mark Giordano signed his first deal was a 3-way.
The 3-way. The 3-way was always knowing you were signing up to play in the coast.
Right? But he never did. Yeah. But really
that's crazy though. Yeah.
Giordano, he was a guy that signed a 3-way at one point. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
It is funny. Like how the game changed though, like those lockouts though. They were that for guys our age, they were right in the wheelhouse of like for me, the one lockout happened when I had my biggest year when I had like 50 points of college. And then the other one was I'm leaving Bietigheim and I happened to sign a deal with Helbron before the lockout happens. If the
Yeah.
lockout had already happened, I'm pretty sure they ain't signing me to that deal.
Right.
Yeah, she benefited.
I was lucky I had signed the deal before it was announced it was going to happen. I
Yeah.
was already done. It was already locked in, and
Yeah.
then
Ink
all of a
was dry.
sudden we got Jonathan Bernier and Bruno Gervais on our team in the second league of
geez.
Germany, right? It's like, yeah.
Just vacationing.
But seriously, yeah, they were. Well, Bruno played a hard game, man. That guy,
Yeah.
I got hammered. That guy was an ultimate teammate. He's like the type of dude. He's a shed guy. I've never reached out to him, never tried to get him on, but I got hammered one time at Center Ice. He was only there for like 8, 9 games. And
Yeah.
as soon as the guy hammered me, Bruno went in and fought this ginormous German for me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? You could get hurt. You're an NHL player and you're fighting for me.
Just hits the eject button. Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Great.
hockey guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I guess I might have to get into the coast here, eh? Like the Swamp Rabbits are gonna play the Gladiators. That's pretty exciting stuff when I know coach is
There you
the
go.
East Coast now, eh?
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Gotta
So
connect.
last couple questions. Okay.
Let's do it.
What advice would you give a 10-year-old nowadays?
What do you? I mean, what advice would I give a 10-year-old?
Yeah, tough question. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. I was just curious.
From it.
I don't know. You got your jersey retired in Atlanta, man. I don't know.
No, take a break from it though. Like the 10-year-old. Like don't. It doesn't have to be 12 months.
100%. Yes,
That's
I agree.
that's the biggest. Don't think you're gonna miss out if you take a month off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or just or weeks off sporadically for that age. They need to take they can't play 12 months a year. It's too hard on the body. You're seeing so many injuries now for young kids, like 16 years old, blowing their knees out and hips and stuff. It's like that's not supposed to happen to them until they're 25, 26. But
Good answer.
because skating's so unnatural for a body movement. It's just they need to play other sports. I know that's cliche.
But you're
but
right.
Do something else.
I agree. Yeah, we got into
if you're gonna do it.
baseball and he's tried dirt
Yeah.
biking
Perfect.
this week. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I just was curious. I don't know why I asked that question, you know.
Yeah. Good.
You know. But seriously, so what do you got to do to get the Atlanta Gladiators? I checked it out. You've been there a long time. Have they won before?
Nope. We lost in the finals my rookie year.
With Supaloop when he was the MVP?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you
Lost to Alaska.
So I guess I mean, that's a long time ago too, eh?
Yeah.
It is.
And how long
We
was
said
the guy that was there before you as the coach? Long time?
Tyler started the team here. He came from Mobile when the team moved here in 03. So he was here from 03 to 2011. And then he came back in 2018 until now.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have a guy like that on your side and be in it together, right? And I think it'd be really neat to see you guys win her all and then hear all about the fun you guys have, right?
You can come on down for it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's for me, I like when people get rewarded for their efforts. I know there's a lot of dudes in the hockey world that like, especially our level of hockey, where like you do your career, you don't really get rewarded for it. You don't really get like your night or anything. There's no, you've got your jersey retired. You had a spit and chicklets night. You're now the head coach and like you're not out of the game. And I think hockey needs more dudes like you in it. And I'm really happy that you are jumping right in because I know the easy option would have been sticking with the minor hockey stuff, taking the job. It's like every head coach has a lifespan, like however it goes, but like that you're ready to compete, you're ready to jump right in and get after it. I just love that shit.
I appreciate it. That's right. definitely took the non-safer route.
You did.
But I don't know. I guess I don't know any different. So
Yeah. You give her.
Yeah.
I know I've played against you. You go out there and you give her. I
yeah,
like it.
no, it wasn't. I mean, the minute it was offered to me, there was not a chance I would say no.
Yeah. And now you get
There
to
was
build
not.
your own culture, your own team. You get to find out who the guys are that are going to be your team's identity. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a fun couple months as this starts to heat up here in the next couple of weeks. So yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
thank you so much for making the time for me. I know everything's
problem, buddy.
busy and we are all busy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And now that my kids stay up too late, it's hard to find time for this shit. But thank you. And I think it's neat that like I have a guy on that just has jersey retired. He's a head coach in the East Coast, and like he makes time for me on a Friday night. That's
Why
fun.
not?
You know?
Why not? I love it. Oh,
Right?
third
From
time's the charm.
Seaforth, Ontario, folks, to his jersey retired in Atlanta, Georgia, now a head coach in the East Coast. And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Nesby and Wally.